Nicole Reimer here, and we're back at the Hub. I'm really excited today because we have somebody who was actually here before but new all again, kind of, right? Yep. So Reshard Neal, thank you for coming again.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So it's an interesting story. I had Reshard here probably about 6 months ago. And so many projects that I'm working on just time lapsed, and I ended up working on another project, and you kind of took off, I feel. You did so many things.
So, I mean, in a sense, yeah, just growth. Just growth with consistency. Yeah.
Right, and I felt like I needed to have you back and redo everything because of that, because you're involved in so many different things. Thank you for coming back again on this Sunday.
My pleasure.
So we have a very funny story about how we met, right? So I was on my way to film and photography class about a year ago, maybe. It was a while ago. And I saw you walking down the street. I was late. And I thought you were going to ask me to take a picture because you had a big camera. And I was like, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be rude. I'm going to be late. I'm going to be late. But you were like, no, I'm going to ask her something, right? And you had something very interesting. I stopped, I listened, and what were you going to have me do? You were not going to have me take a picture.
All right, so I was going to, I think I was going around, it was my first kind of spontaneous collaboration video where I was going through West Palm because I wasn't even living in West Palm at the time. I was living in Fort Lauderdale, So I had just got off work, and then I was going around the West Palm, I guess, beach area.
And it was Palm Beach. For those of you who don't know, Palm Beach, I mean, everybody goes to do a photo shoot. People come and drive an hour. And that's why I thought you were going to do...
I didn't know they do that.
Because it's so pretty. It's beautiful, the sunsets, it's Palm Beach Island. So that's why I initially thought, oh my God, he's going to ask me to take a picture. I don't have time. But that wasn't it. You were.
But yeah, so that day I was going around asking people what's their definition of happiness. So I saw Nicole walking. I think you had bags with you.
I had all my camera equipment. I was running.
You were a woman on a mission. But I said, I got to try to grab somebody because everyone I saw was with a family or with a crowd. I'm like, I'm not trying to do the most. So she looked like an easy target. Plus she seemed like she was busy and doing something, would have something good to say.
So
I went to stop you, and you weren't able to do it at the moment because you're ripping and running. Why you're so successful now is because you're always doing something.
I am.
And she said, I can't right now, but she gave me her card. And she said she wanted to have me on a digital series and potentially her radio show one day. So we kept in contact, and then here we are now. So
and I will say, you followed up. That is key. People they'll get a card and they're either afraid to follow up or it gets lost. They forget to do it, and you followed up within like a few days, and you were persistent because I'm busy and I forget sometimes. So you were persistent. So we had you here, and we were talking about all kinds of things. You do so many things because you're on a lot of podcasts and you're talking to a lot of people, but you also work with kids.
Absolutely.
So what do you do with the kids? You work with teens,
At the kids, at the kids, I work at Believers Academy High School. It's a charter school, so I'm a life coach there, and I'll do things whether, sometimes I'm breaking up fights, sometimes
Real talk.
We got kids who come into my office and want to speak one-on-one, and I'll talk and work through certain situations with them, whether that's big or small. Like, we've got kids obviously who get abused, so I have to take my proper precaution with that. Or if it's just like some type of venting session and they need some advice, I'll do that. Or as well as job coaching, so I help kids get jobs, and then I'll follow up with them weekly, and whether it's with them or the supervisor or both. And then we'll just kind of see how the kid is doing and see where they need to kind of build up in some areas of weakness, and pretty much try to add value to their lives in some way.
That's very fulfilling, I would imagine, too.
It's challenging, but it's fulfilling too. It's fulfilling too, for sure.
Well, I want everybody to go check out your Instagram because you posted a video with the kids.
Oh, yeah.
This past week, and you were doing kind of like a role-playing session or whatever. But I think you're very extroverted, and you know.
Well, I'll tell you. See, this is the thing. I feel like nowadays I'm more balanced, but in my heart I'm introverted, and I've always been introverted. Like, I'll be in my room, like even if we have family functions or it's a holiday or something, I'll be downstairs mingling with everybody for a little bit, maybe an hour, hour and a half. Then after a while, I just disappear and I'm in my room, whether I'm writing, I'm doing something. I need my alone time to recharge. So I historically have been introverted, and even, I'll say this, starting social media was like I'm not gonna say a struggle, but it was a little uncomfortable because
it's courageous. I don't think a lot of people understand how tough that is for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And how many takes we end up doing before we put us out there, you know?
That too. And it was just like, I felt like, you know, through different experiences that I've been through, at a point I realized that my life is bigger than me. And it's like, I have an actual purpose. And to do that, you have to put yourself out there. Though that's not comfortable for me, I said in the times that we live in, Facebook's prevalent, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, all these social media domains, you're going to have to put yourself in that social network for anyone to know
grow.
what you're doing or just to really fulfill your purpose, which was kind of challenging. And maybe that helped me to be a little more extroverted or more open. And I do enjoy building with people and just kind of meeting someone for the first time, or even if I know them already, having a real talk with them. So I guess in a sense, can be extroverted, and I do like walking into a room and being able to bring positive energy.
Right.
But if anything, I'm a balance now. But in my heart, I've always been an introvert. So
I talk to a lot of people. I think I'm like that too because I'm around people all the time. I talk to a lot of people. I also need my alone time to kind of recharge and re-energize myself to kind of go back out there and do it. And I think people forget that they need that. Even if you're an extrovert and you're around people all the time, that can be taxing, I think. You know what I mean? So like I said, I think you kind of took off in the last 6 months and you're really, really out there. What would you say is your main message?
The main message as far as like how to do that, or like what was my mindset?
What was your mindset?
My mindset was just let's see. I feel like it's less of a mindset and more of like just energy running through me. So when it comes to NOVEE and like just trying to put out this message, I just feel passion, right? It's just I'm passionate about it. And before I even had a platform, I would tell my parents, my sisters, friends, what I'm going to do. This is going to be a big thing. I'm going to change the world and all this other stuff, right? And that's just me without any cameras on, just me being me and telling them how much I care about this. So I just let that passion drive the vehicle, and then the mind kind of just formulates the strategy of how we're going to make this imagination a tangible thing. And with that, just you're going to have roadblocks. You're going to have things come from left field to completely mess you up. Like how you said, there's one time you were doing a show and someone just blasted music and it messed up the show.
We had a show here and somebody came by and the whole building was shook.
Exactly. So there's so many times I'm doing a video and like someone's either talking or loud cars driving by, or I don't know, it's different things like collaborations that were supposed to happen but never happened, or
well, things happen for a reason or don't.
So many things go left. Yeah, there's gonna be so much stuff that happens in the journey, but it's like you gotta have that consistent mindset that this thing's gonna work no matter what. Whether it takes me, if I thought in my head it's gonna take a month and it takes 3 months, or it takes a year, either way, as long as it happens. So that's been my mentality. Like whether my views are up or my views are down, whether I'm suffering on Facebook and doing good on Instagram or good on YouTube, and I'm still going to keep going. The ship is going to keep going, and I'm going to keep beating on that wall till it breaks down.
And that's because you have a passion for something, right? And that's really what drives you. So you came up with something called SHOR. What is SHOR? Because it stands for something. And I think it's kind of the basis of what your message is and probably how you deal with the kids at school. Yeah,
that's my mentality.
So where did this come from? Tell us what SHOR means.
Well, I was just sitting down one day trying to think like, okay, like I want to bring new life. That's what NOVEE means, new life. So I just kind of got like French, I don't know if the word is derived. It derived from a French term, so derivation. I don't know if that's, but anyway, so I was like, okay, new in life in French. Let me mix that up, chop it up, condense it, make my own pronunciation. That's NOVEE. So I said, okay, you want to bring people new life. You want to help them transform in some way. What are the specific tools and how you're doing that? You have the passion flowing through you, the energy, but like, how can we organize this? And I said, okay, what would I want to bring to someone? How am I trying to influence them? And that's by balancing spirituality, which is the S, health, which is mental and physical, the H, O, which is occupation, just another term for your calling, and R, recreation, just that time to relax, have fun.
And recreate.
Absolutely. So
and
SHOR.
Those things really go together.
Yep.
Your health, your mental, your physical, your spirituality, what you do for a living, or your calling, and then to recreate. I mean, I think that's really amazing because I really do think that it all works together.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean?
mean?
Yeah, it just felt organic, so it makes sense. Like, I just kind of packaged what I guess I'm thinking or feeling or what I feel like are key domains in anyone's life, and just saying like if we can kind of have better perspective on all four of those and balance it, you know, it'll be better. And I think like love, all types of stuff fall into that. Your mental health, how's
Mental health
your
is
heart
huge.
feel, and you know, with the physical health or spirituality. Like I feel like it just ties everything together.
And spirituality for some, you know, it's just believing in something bigger sometimes than yourself, and a higher power, whatever that may be, right?
Yep.
It's not saying you have to believe in one thing, because everybody believes in something different.
Absolutely.
And I think the health part is so key right now. You know, we're coming up on the anniversary of Parkland shooting.
Okay. Yeah.
And the our mental health, I think, is not taken as seriously as say, you know, losing weight and diet and exercise.
Yeah.
But how much of our mental health really dictates a lot of our happiness sometimes,
Absolutely.
you know? And I'm
Absolutely.
sure with the kids that you work with, you probably see that. Like if
sure.
they don't have maybe the best home life and how that affects them at school.
Absolutely.
It's the same for adults. You know, if they have stresses and they don't know how to deal with it, it affects everything else that they do in life. You know what I mean? And then that goes back to have some type of spirituality. A lot of people meditate. Do you meditate?
I meditate all the time.
Okay,
now.
so you're going to have to
Yeah.
give me some tips on meditating,
got
because
you.
this
I got
brain
you.
does not shut down.
Trust me, I got you. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, I could give some tips now. If you
Please,
want.
what is Reshard
Okay.
Neal's tips
Okay.
on meditating? Because was it hard in the beginning? Let me ask you that.
It was hard for like maybe the first day or two.
Oh,
But
come on.
it gets better. It gets easy.
Okay.
I'll tell you how.
It's
so,
hard for me because I'm the type of person, my brain does not shut off.
I feel you. I have.
And I'm a night owl.
Okay, me too. Like
I'm not a morning
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
So, all right, Reshard Neal's tips for meditating. Go.
So I definitely have what some call the monkey mind, where your mind is continuously racing, you're
Yes, we all
overthinking,
have
you're worrying about stuff, you're holding on to things from the past.
Conscious and unconsciously.
Conscious
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yes,
subconsciously.
exactly. And I looked up a YouTube video and it just kind of told me, it was like a beginner's guide to meditation. So the idea is really to become mindful through meditating. And it was like, the way that they told you to start was pretty much, we breathe naturally, right? So just for a moment, you have to isolate yourself. I will go to a quiet room where no one's going to bother you and close your eyes. And to complement the meditation, put on what they call binaural beats.
Okay.
I think you spell it BINARAUL.
We'll put it down below.
And if you type it in, it'll pop up.
It'll pop up on
Binaural
Google.
beats, right? So for whatever it is, if it's stress relief, if it's no more anxiety, happiness, whatever type, they have beats
Right.
for all types
Okay.
of stuff. And
Okay.
why it's called binaural is because it stimulates both sides of your brain. So what it is I put the beats on, put it in my headphones, let the music play, and all you're supposed to do during that time is focus on your breath, because you're breathing already. So breathe in through the nose at a natural pace and out through your mouth, and just only focus on the breath. And innately, your mind is going to wander.
Yes.
Right? It's because that's what we do
All the time.
We're taught to multitask. To
Yeah.
like, we put so much on our plate, trying to be independent people.
I am
and
a
everything's-
champion multitasker.
Exactly.
Reshard. I don't know if it's doing me well,
Right.
service, but
Right.
So, I mean, for somebody like me whose brain does not shut off, like, what is your goal? Like, I should do it for 3 minutes, and then next day try for 5 minutes.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly how I did. I did it
you?
for 3 at first, and then 5 becomes comfortable, and then after a while, even 10, you're like, I need more. I need 30
Really?
minutes, 20 minutes. So like, and the idea is to do it a little bit every single day. Don't just go crazy like an hour on Monday and then never do it again until next Monday, because you're gonna not see the real effects. It's literally like a muscle. So, and that's like, okay, so when your mind innately wanders and you're bringing it back, you're gonna realize eventually it's easier for you to focus and it doesn't wander as much. You stay at the task
You're
at
training
hand.
your brain to do something.
And you're
daily.
relaxing in the process. So a lot of the reason why our brain is racing is because it's neurosis. We're overflooding our brains with thoughts that aren't even necessary a lot of the times. We're worrying about things that are going to get done anyway. Just stay in the moment. Or we're holding on to things from the past.
Right.
If you're starting a new job and you had a bad experience at the last job, whether someone sexually harassed you or someone was just verbally abusive at a job, you're going to go into this job and say, oh, I hope this doesn't happen again. You're going to be worried about that situation coming again.
You're
That's
already
just an
putting
example.
something negative
Yeah, it's
on
just an
it,
example.
yeah.
Yeah. And for example, we're talking right now and my heart's beating, your heart's beating, you're breathing. The body is spontaneous. It's right now. There's nothing, the computer up here can remember old stuff,
Unfortunately.
Right. So when you're breathing, you're just training your mind to be aligned with your body. It's getting aligned with the natural process that your body does, which is breathe. So it's relaxing you, it's keeping you focused, and it's just keeping you in the moment. And I think there's, and then that pretty much transfers into your daily life. So when I'm at work, I'm at work. when I'm home and I'm working on my goals.
Because you trained this part of you to be able to be present,
right,
and deal with what you need to deal with, and not deal with, you know, an argument you had with a friend,
exactly.
you know, 6 days before or
exactly,
whatever.
Exactly.
Well, and you know, there's a lot of science behind that, but you know, Oprah does it. You know, a lot of like billionaires do it for a reason, because it helps them be present, I would say.
Absolutely.
I'm going to try it.
Absolutely.
I'll report back. I don't know if it's going to work. You know, I think it's just, you know, it's like you don't lose weight in a day, right?
Right.
And you'd have to do little by little. You know, it's just like if you lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. That's not really healthy. You have to start off little by little, and then all of a sudden you're in it, and you can't live without it now,
For sure,
right?
exactly. And that's the thing, like, the idea, even whether it's meditation or like fitness goals or anything like that, I think the mindset that's most resourceful is literally going into it like this is going to be a lifestyle. Maybe not overwhelm yourself at first, but once you start doing it and you realize the benefits of it, don't ask yourself, okay, when am I going to get to a point where I don't need this anymore? And it's like, okay, I'm healed in a sense. As a lifestyle, I think it's going to be resourceful for you throughout future challenges. It should be just a tool that you're putting into your toolbox for whenever you need it, you know. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie. There's some days that I miss meditation a day or two, but I try to like not be more than a day or two, because I start feeling it.
You feel the effects of not doing it.
Exactly, and it becomes a part of you. Just like with working out. If I'm not working out, like if I miss a couple days at the gym, I'm starting to get more depressed. I'm more like short-tempered. So it's like, just let it be a lifestyle.
We all know that. It's now February. I wonder how many people's gym memberships are lapsing.
Very true.
You do work out a lot. I see that. Is that something also with the health part?
Absolutely.
It helps you be successful.
Yeah, and they tie into each other, because they say like in some spiritual texts, you know, the body, take care of the body like a temple, or like a lot of this energy I talk about, like passion. I feel like that comes from a greater source than me. I don't create that. But
it was given to you
heart,
as an idea, and all that was given,
Right, so take care of that body that is holding these things. Put good nutritional foods into it.
Right.
That's an investment. You could waste, I don't know, money and time eating something that's trash.
Junk.
And what do you get out of it? Nothing. Compared to putting 30 minutes into cooking.
Right.
With some good food and putting that into your body, and then you have energy for tomorrow, real energy that lasts, or your mind's gonna be working better gradually and stuff like that. So, you
know, I have a friend who's a psychotherapist, and when patients come to her and they're having a tough time, the first thing she asks them is, what have you been eating? Because it does have,
it's a huge thing.
You know, if you're already in a stressful environment, your cortisol is shooting up. If you're eating junk food, it's setting you back, basically. If you're not, and you know, when we all get stressed, what do? We eat junk, we drink, and we don't work out, right? So, and that's like when you actually need to eat well and work out is during those times of stress, because it affects your mental as well as your physical.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it totally throws you off track, hence the reason by like February, March, people aren't at the gym. 100%. It's too stressful, I can't go, you know. Well, you found time in January, you can find time now, right?
Absolutely.
So what has been like your biggest aha moment, or something that happened in the last year of you doing all this that was like a shock, good or bad, you know, something that you had to kind of like maneuver through, because you're doing a lot. I mean, I had to go through and like, wow, Reshard's everywhere now, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
It's like you have your private film company, you know, following you.
Yeah. Thank you. The biggest, all right.
Good or bad?
So, good or bad, okay.
And, you know, I tell everybody, be real, be yourself, because it's going to help somebody else.
Yeah.
Kind of trying to go through a transformation in life.
This year's been like kind of like a blur, because I've just been in go mode and not reflecting. But I'll say this, okay, so my biggest aha moment wasn't this year. Like, my biggest awakening, I say, was when I was about 21 years old. And, like, I was going through a lot of tough times, and it was like, there was a lot of stress, depression. Like, my mind was like all over the place, like confusion. To the point where I felt like I was overstressed, and to the point where I was like getting memory loss, and I'm a young kid. But what happened is that when I stopped running from those problems, in the sense of like, because when these things are overcoming you, it's a challenge to your identity. It's like, oh, I'm a strong person. I know how to do this. I played basketball coming up. I'm like, in my head, I'm the man. I'm like, I can get good grades in school. I do what I got to do. But then it's like this new identity is shifting, so we run away from it innately because we don't want to face that pain. And I think we're taught to not embrace pain. We're taught to kind of stay away from it, right? Yeah. But once I accepted it, once I looked myself in the mirror, so to speak, it just became one with the emotions, which I guess in a sense was kind of like a meditative state. When you just become one with something, I just became one with it and faced it, and it was like, automatically my mind and body started having that impulse to kind of overcome and get better. But if I didn't do that, I'd still probably be in a similar state where it's like I never gave myself a chance to grow because I never allowed myself to be one with that and face that reality. So that was my biggest aha moment, because it was like I started breaking out and like kind of like seeing the light again. Right, yeah.
It's almost like self-awareness.
Self-awareness. Yeah, self-awareness.
Okay. Yeah.
And that kind of sparked everything. So with that, you know, from that point on, the journey that's kind of ensued, which includes NOVEE and developing SHOR and stuff like that. I'm trying to think of some of the biggest hurdles this year. Honestly, this year's been
because you work full time, and then you're collaborating. Okay. Because I do that, right? Yeah. So I do that. I work full time. I do a few shows, produce a few shows, and it's so hard because then the last part of your SHOR is recreation. Yeah. So how are you working so much? Because that's something that even I deal with, because that team no sleep is actually really detrimental to your health. Go back to health, right? For sure. So how does the recreation part come in with all the collaboration you're doing and working full time?
I try to have time where, even if it's like, again, all these avenues blend into one another. So like for me, though the gym is health, it's also recreation because it's therapy for me. Meditation is a form of recreation. Okay. Sleep is recreation because you're not doing anything, but you're doing something that your soul needs, that's relaxing, that makes you feel better. A lot of times I'll have a day when I'm not going to do anything, whether that's it hasn't been Sunday lately because I've been doing my show, the live Instagram show. Everything. But like Saturday or some type of day, I'll try to find where like I'm not going to do anything today.
So you schedule it.
Completely disconnect. I write a lot, like therapy still. Oh, cool. So that's recreation for me.
And it's a must, right? Exactly. I mean, if you don't have that, you're not your 100% yourself to be able to do all these extra things. So it is important. So that's why I love the end of that is recreation, so that you can recreate yourself.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Sure. So what's next for you?
What's next for me? I'm putting the final touches on my book. It's practically complete, so I'm looking into.
You were writing it last time you were here, so complete. 6 months. Look, that's awesome. A lot of people say they're writing a book, and then you see them a year. Yeah, no, I'm still writing it. Still writing it. It's hard.
Yep, and that's the thing. I've been talking about it since I was probably 21. So it's like, and you have personal life too that you go through where it's like. That messes you up, and I don't even feel like it messes you up, because there's times where like I won't be on Instagram for a week maybe, or I'm doing my book and then I like get distant from it because life is happening. Yeah. It's actually a good thing because now I'm grabbing more and I have more to offer. That's good. So like that's what really happens in that process. But at this point, thank God. And that's whatever God you want.
Yeah, it's okay. That's
Thank God that I'm in a point where I was able to kind of focus and just lock in and do it. So just putting the finishing touches on that, looking into publishing. But that book should be here before summertime or around summertime, because I don't know how long publishing and all that stuff takes. But that's what's next for me. My website is coming out within the next 2 weeks, ReshardNeal.com. Okay. And those are the two main things. Oh, also like clothing. I'm putting out clothing, but I want to wait till the book comes out first. Then I'll do the NOVEE.
We love fashion, just for men.
Yes.
That's all right.
No, not just for men. Not just for men. No. It's going to be unisex.
Oh, cool.
And I'll have to learn more about how that avenue works in that domain.
Like that.
And
so I have a line of shirts for women. We'll have to collab and try to put it out there. We'll have to put it out there. Okay. So I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this because I want an authentic answer. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself having a global impact on the world. I see myself reaping some of the fruits of my labor, but nowhere near satisfied. Still going in an ambitious fashion to go ahead and influence people.
So growth.
Yeah, I see growth, but I just see, because if I could do what I did in a year, if I do that times 5 and continue to learn on the way, continue to read books, continue to collaborate with great people like yourself, and like just never stop even when the hurdles are in front of me, I don't see how I could lose, because the passion is going to drive it, and the higher power that gave me that, I feel like it's going to see it through if I discipline myself enough to stay focused on what I said I'm going to do. So in 5 years, I'll be 32. I think I'll be decent. I may have a kid by then. I don't know. I told myself that, so I don't know. But I think that it'll be growth and continued blessings.
I like that. That was an authentic answer. I do like that. And you know, a lot of what you do is taxing too.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you take a break from,
Right.
from all that
Right,
too
right.
and
Well,
live.
I was gonna add. You said something like recreation. There's breaks at night that I
Yeah,
have recreation
okay,
like that.
okay.
That's the only thing in the stride. Like
Oh,
you gotta
okay.
have time to have relaxation and time.
Yeah.
To,
Well, I think a lot of what you know drives you is that you're very passionate,
Yeah.
and that's what we kind of try to key on here is that you have a passion that you need to, because that's going to drive you when you don't feel like doing it.
Absolutely.
Because it's hard, right? Like you're tired,
Absolutely.
somebody
Yeah.
asks you to come and talk. You know, writing a book is taxing. You know, it takes a lot of energy out of you, but because you have a passion for it, it's going to make you do it on the days you don't want to do it.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because that's
Absolutely.
really difficult. There's days I don't feel like doing things, but
100%.
I love what I'm doing, so I can't imagine not doing it.
Right.
So,
and I,
yeah.
And I was gonna say, and I think about that like when I get off my full-time job.
Yeah.
I'm like, I lay down for like an hour and I just want to stay there, and I'm like, you know what? Get up, because this is the time that makes a champion or makes a winner.
Right.
When you don't want to do it, you got to get up and do it, and that's again investing,
Yeah.
and you're gonna reap the benefits.
You have to invest in yourself a little
Yeah.
bit, you know, and in the times that you don't want to. But that's, again, because you have passion. But you have to have that inner strength to tell yourself, hey,
Yeah.
get up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not time, you can sleep later. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you for having me. I
You've done
appreciate
so
that.
much, so I'm
Thank
really
you.
excited. I think this is going to help a lot of people. I know you're going to come back again.
Absolutely, as many times as you want, I'll be here.
And I'll be on yours
Yeah,
too.
you should. Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
Reshard Neal, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at RESHARD.NEAL. I have to spell it because people think Reshad. So
Yeah.
that, and then all the platforms are the same. Facebook is Reshard Neal. YouTube's Reshard Neal. The website coming is going to be reshardneal.com.
Okay.
And the book is going to be called NOVEE, The Journey of Forever. So,
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's fly. I like
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
I can't
having
wait
me.
to see everything you're doing. So, guys, check us out next time on The Hub. Thanks.
all right, guys.
Thank you.